Hello, everybody. My name is Gaston. I'm here with this week's Markman Minute. You can find our content at Mimesis Web TV under the Intellectual Property tab. Check out both our videos and our Markman Note, which comes out once a week and recaps all the patent litigation-related events that we think are of interest to investors. For this week's discussion, I wanted to focus on an oral argument in the Federal Circuit that happened on Friday, May 8th. Involving a company called Parkervision, which many people may not have heard of. But the defendant in the case is a company that almost everybody has heard of, and we've spoken about in the past, Qualcomm. And what makes Parkervision interesting is that we think it represents a kind of pure breed, non-practicing entity patent litigation play for investors that has really taken investors on a wild ride over the last year or two. The backstory is pretty simple. Parkervision is a Florida-based company that has some patents in the area of sampling technology. At one point in time, Parker apparently showed his technology to Qualcomm. Qualcomm passed, and that was really the end of the story for Parkervision for a long time. They've never really come out with a product, and for investors in the company, there was always this idea that they were going to make money by having a big case against Qualcomm and winning. Fast forwarding towards the end of 2013 and 2014, the case with Qualcomm starts heating up, and eventually went to trial in Orlando. The trial went very well for Parkervision because the jury found that Qualcomm had infringed on Parkervision's patents and also awarded damages in the area of $172 million, which is a huge verdict by patent standards. What makes the situation interesting was that the trial was bifurcated, as many patent trials are, where you had the liability phase first, followed by the damages phase. And if you take a look at Parkervision's chart for that period of time, after the jury came back with the infringement finding, the stock really spiked up very nicely from $3, if I remember correctly, to almost $8, if not higher. And then immediately, a week or two after, when the number came back from the jury, Parkervision was looking for something in the range of $1 billion plus, including willfulness, against Qualcomm. And when the jury's number came back at $172 million without willfulness and without an enhancement, effectively, the stock retreated to $5. The next event in the case, as is common in every patent case, is the judge actually had a chance to review the jury's verdict. And quite surprisingly for Parkervision, the judge actually threw out the jury's verdict and rendered a judgment of non-infringement in favor of Qualcomm. That was a materially negative event for Parkervision. The stock dropped immediately from $5 to almost $1, and it really left investors looking at this Federal Circuit argument as the best chance for Parkervision to reinstate the verdict in some form or fashion and keep the dream alive of getting big royalty money from Qualcomm. So what happened at the oral argument? Pretty straightforward Federal Circuit oral argument. The parties argued their position. Qualcomm was the one saying that the judge got it wrong and that the judge should have respected the jury's verdict. And obviously, Qualcomm was arguing that the judge got it right, that Parker really had no legal basis for its claims. What was very interesting about this situation, and I think points to increased investor interest in these situations, is that during the hearing itself, or during the time of the hearing, there was a huge drop in Parkervision's stock price, almost 40% drop that afternoon. And what that indicated to a lot of people was that there was potentially a large holder of the company that had been holding their position, waiting for the Federal Circuit argument, went into the Federal Circuit argument, got word from the argument itself that it wasn't going that well for Parkervision, and that sparked a sell-off. Now, part of that is speculation, but what's not speculation is that people actually took this Federal Circuit argument and turned it into a catalyst for the company. So what's next? Now that Parkervision is really, almost on its last legs, technically, the Federal Circuit could do them a big favor and reverse the judgment of no infringement and send the case back down. That would obviously be a very positive event for Parkervision. Parkervision has some other patents that they're trying to put to work against other defendants. But in many ways, the Parkervision story is a cautionary tale for investors interested in the patent litigation space. When the story is completely dependent on a litigation result against one big target, you can be sure that that target is going to take the fight as far as it needs to in order to get a win. And right now, Qualcomm is, obviously hoping for the Federal Circuit to affirm what they were able to get at the district court level, which was a finding that they don't infringe Parkervision's patents. And when you look at Parkervision and you see that the patents are a main, if not the only, contribution to their potential revenue, obviously the share price has been suffering. That's it for this week's Markman Minute. Please continue to check out our content at mimesiswebtv.com. I'm Gaston. See you next time.